There can be envy from the pulpit where the sermon is being preached from. There can be envy in a home between husband and wife. There can be envy among siblings. There can be envy in the workplace. You and I cannot control people from getting envious or jealous of us, but we must control how that jealousy or envy will stab the javelin into our hearts and pierce us to the wall. You must be discerning to know when the king is envious of you. You must be discerning to know when a leader is envious of you. When Cain killed Abel, I'm sure Abel did not believe that it was his brother that killed him. It was so painful that his blood began to cry unto God. That was a sign that Abel was so shocked. He did not discern Cain. I'm sure there are times Cain was telling him some things, because he said truth is said in the midst of laughter. I'm sure when they were playing, they were talking, he was hearing some things from his brother's mouth, but he ignored it. Envy and jealousy can end the purpose in a man's life that is not designing. Do you know that when Saul tried to kill David, the Bible said that David escaped and ran away that very night? David was designing, David was watching, even though he was playing the harp. Even though he was playing the harp in the book of 1samuel chapter 19, verses 9, David was playing the harp, but he was watching. I want to encourage you. Be watching the character of your leaders. Be watching the character of your spouses. Be watching the character of even your pastor if you are an assistant. Try to notice when men are jealous of you. Listen to me. There was an old prophet in the Bible that was jealous of a young true prophet. He was envious of him and prophesied lies to that young man and made sure that young man died by disobeying the voice and the command of God. And the young man was buried in the grave of the old prophet. And this was written in the book of 1 Kings chapter 13 from verse 11 to 24. Go and read it. In the book of 1 Samuel chapter 18, verses 9, the Bible said, and Saul eyed David from that day forward. People are eyeing you with the eyes of hatred and jealousy. Envy and jealousy. What is envy? Envy is a negative feeling of desire centered on someone who has something that you don't have. And what is jealousy? On the other hand, jealousy is defined as a feeling of resentment. Someone is resenting you. A feeling of bitterness. Someone is bitter over you, over your achievement. A feeling of hostility towards someone who has something that you don't have. Cain was jealous of his brother Abel and he murdered him. So don't tell me that what is she saying? Why is she preaching hate? I'm not preaching hate. I'm just preaching discernment and caution. Joseph's brothers in Genesis 37 verses 3, because Israel loved Joseph, Joseph was hated by his brothers and they sold him. Do you know what it means for people to sell you like a piece of bread, of chicken, a whole human being? His brothers sold him out of jealousy. Joseph was not designing that he was not loved by his brothers. When he shared his dream with his brothers, he saw their attitude, but he was not designing. That is why it is an error to just be simple. You are not foolish, but you are not wise. You are simple. David was designing. Let us see 1 Samuel chapter 19. 1 Samuel chapter 19 verses 18. So David fled and escaped and came to Samuel to Ramah. He escaped to the right place. There is a time you will notice that marriage, you need to escape because the envy is so much and your life is being threatened. Listen, before you holler and say, what is she saying? Look at 1 Samuel chapter 19 verses 9. B. As he sat in his house with his javelin in his hand, King Saul, and David played with his hand. David was walking, was making him feel comfortable. Verses 10 of 1 Samuel 19. And Saul sought to smite David, even to the wall with the javelin. You want to stay till they will kill you. But he slipped away out of Saul's presence, and he smote the javelin into the wall, and David fled and escaped that night. It is time for you to escape. You know the jealousy is real. You can breathe it, you can feel it, and you are still there. You want to be killed like Abel. Do you know the destiny that Abel did not fulfill? Even Saul, David's wife, had to tell David to run, that the father was going to kill him. David escaped in verses 11. Saul also sent messengers unto David's house to watch him and to slay him in the morning. And Michal, David's wife, told him, may God bless us with good women. David's wife told him, saying, if thou save not thy life tonight, tomorrow thou shalt be slain. And the Lord is speaking to you, save your life tonight. That jealousy is too much and you will be slain. So David fled in verses 18 and escaped and came to Samuel to Ramah and told him all that Saul had done to him. And he and Samuel dwelt in Naioth. And it was told Saul, saying, behold, David is at Naioth in Ramah. And Saul sent messengers to take David. And when they saw the coming of the prophet prophesying, and Samuel standing as appointed over them, the Spirit of God was upon the messengers of Saul, and they also prophesied. When you are escaping from jealousy, escape to a sound child of God. Because David escaped to Samuel, the Bible said that even when Saul sent messengers to kill David, the messengers saw people prophesying and even Samuel in their midst, and the messengers joined them and began to prophesy. Make sure you escape. Don't escape from a bad marriage and go and fall into the hand of a man that is sleeping with you. He's not married to you. You run. You say the man is beating you. The man is beating you. You now run from fry pan to fire. The man is beating you. Run away from the marriage. You now go and meet a drug addict. Run into something that is sin, something that has the fear of God. David ran to Samuel. You want to run away from a particular wickedness. You now run into the hand of something that is even worse. Run into safety. Know when to run. If you know how the Lord is looking out for you when you are being envied, you will know how to run into the hand of safety. It is time to think and look at that envy and think fast before you end up inside a kettle, because if you are too gentle, you will end up in the kettle. God bless you. Bye.